नमस्कार, कैसे हैं आप लोग? उम्मीद करती हूँ आप लोग सब बहुत खुश हैं, बहुत पॉजिटिव हैं और बहुत अच्छे से अपना ध्यान रख रहे हैं। आपका बहुत सारा स्वागत है आज की शाम में, जो है रागा लाइव के नाम। आज हम लोग राग यमन कल्याण के ऊपर चर्चा वार्ता करने वाले हैं। और सबसे बड़ी बात, राग यमन कल्याण है और उसे समझाने के लिए, उसको डिस्कस करने के लिए हमारे साथ हैं आज एक बहुत पॉपुलर सितार आर्टिस्ट श्री कल्याण मजुमदार जी। मैं उनका तहे दिल से स्वागत करना चाहती हूँ आज इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे, और उनका शुक्रिया देना चाहती हूँ कि उन्होंने अपना कीमती वक्त निकाल के आज हमारे लिए, हम सब के लिए अपना समय निकाला। कल्याण जी, मैं आपको रिक्वेस्ट भेज रही हूँ, प्लीज़ उसे एक्सेप्ट करके हमें लाभ। नमस्कार कल्याण जी, कैसे हैं आप?
नमस्कार, कैसे हैं आप?
मैं बहुत अच्छी हूँ। आपको इस स्टेज पे देख के, इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे देख के मुझे बहुत ज्यादा खुशी हो रही है।
थैंक यू सो मच एंड इट्स ग्रेट टू बी विथ यू।
थैंक यू सो
एंड
मच।
ऑनेस्टली बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है कि आप ये जो कर रहे हैं रिगार्डिंग क्लासिकल म्यूजिक एंड इट्स प्रोपगेशन, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है ये देख के भी। एंड ऑफ कोर्स दिस वे ऑफ प्रेजेंटिंग कि एक राग को लेके उसके उसके ऊपर ये चर्चा करना, ये आजकल तो ज्यादा होता नहीं है पर जब होता है तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। क्योंकि हम देखते हैं कि अक्सर बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग होते हैं जो शायद एक प्रॉपर नॉलेज नहीं ले पाते, जो प्रॉपर एक स्कूलिंग नहीं कर पाते म्यूजिक के रिलेटेड, जिनको प्रॉपर
Yes.
गुरु उपलब्ध नहीं हो पाते। सो इट इज अ इनिशिएटिव कि किस तरह से उन लोगों तक एक अच्छी जानकारी पहुंच सके, और साथ ही साथ जो आज का यूथ है, जो आने वाली जनरेशन है, उन तक ये जो हमारा इंडियन क्लासिकल म्यूजिक है, ये जो हमारा ट्रेडिशन है, जो हमारा कल्चर है, जो फुल ऑफ लाइफ है, ये उन तक किस तरह फॉरवर्ड किया जा सके। इसी थॉट के साथ ये पिछले एक साल पहले इन सेशंस को स्टार्ट किया। एंड आई एम सो हैप्पी कि आप जैसे आर्टिस्ट मुझे सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं और ये सेशंस लगातार कंटिन्यू चल रहे हैं। थैंक यू सो मच सर।
That's great. Absolutely. It's a great initiative.
थैंक यू सो मच। तो आज का सेशन स्टार्ट करने से पहले, राग यमन कल्याण के ऊपर आने से पहले, सबसे पहले मैं आपका म्यूजिकल जर्नी के बारे में जानना चाहूंगी। बहुत सारे लोग जानते होंगे कि आप एक बहुत पॉपुलर सितारिस्ट हैं, बट हो सकता है कि बहुत सारे लोग जो सितार ना सुनते हो, उनको नहीं पता हो आपके बारे में, एंड इट योर जर्नी माइट बी इंटरेस्टिंग फॉर देम, और आपसे इंस्पायर होके शायद वो संगीत के अंदर किसी तरह आ पाए। सो प्लीज टेल मी अबाउट योर जर्नी, म्यूजिकल जर्नी।
हाँ, ऑफ कोर्स कुछ एंटरटेनिंग चीज भी है इसमें।
For sure, please.
तो आई स्टार्ट विद एब्सोल्यूट हाउ आई स्टार्टेड।
For sure.
See, I started learning sitar when I was just the age of 3.5,
Wow.
from my father. You see, when my father was a musician, my father is a musician,
Yeah.
he's a sitarist. So फैमिली में म्यूजिक था, तो ऐसे म्यूजिक तो आ ही गया। तो 3.5 की उम्र में जब हम स्टार्ट किए सितार, आई वाज प्लेइंग एंड देन आई वेंट ऑन टू लर्न अंडर पंडित सौमित्र लाहिड़ी, एंड after that under the legendary Pandit Buddhadev Dasgupta ji. And finally, currently, I am learning under Pandit Partho Chatterjee as an ITCSRA scholar.
Wow.
Yeah. And talking about the other things, one of my greatest memories, so I don't even know if it's a real memory. I don't remember that. I have just heard about it. uh, it's about how my first program went. I gave my first performance at the age of just 6, not even 6, honestly. I was just 2 days away from becoming 6.
Wow.
So that's an age of 5.
I
Uh,
agree.
so, and it was at, one of the bigger auditoriums in Kolkata, G.D. Birla Sabhagar.
Wow.
I guess you have heard of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and just imagine that on the same stage on the same day, artists were like Buddhaditya Mukherjee, Shubhankar Banerjee. These artists were present in the green room with me. And imagine being a 5-year-old with them. I remember being told by my parents that मैं खुद से चढ़ भी नहीं पाया था स्टेज पे। जो डायस होता है ना स्टेज पे, मैं इतना ही छोटा था कि मैं खुद से चढ़ भी नहीं पाया। मुझे उठा दिया गया उस पे, और जो फ्लावर का बुके दिया था मुझे, तो वो मुझसे बड़ा था।
वाओ।
तो ये तो गया ये फर्स्ट प्रोग्राम के बारे में। फिर तो बहुत प्रोग्राम तो होते ही रहते हैं। अभी इसके बारे में बाद में आते हैं। देन हैड द अपॉर्चुनिटीज। नेक्स्ट I came first at radio competition, All India radio competition. It's quite a big thing.
या
और radio competition के बाद में people started recognizing me more, and uh, opportunities started coming in after that. Very honestly speaking, uh, people from across the entire country and even abroad, started contacting me after that happened. And even after that also, like before that, even I'll tell you that even Doverland music competition, I came first in Doverland music competition. Uh, I even performed in the periodical Doverland music conference. Uh, and talking about performances, you see, um, Baba Harivallabh Sangeet Sammelan, which is the oldest running
yes,
classical
yes,
music conference in entire India and even the world
yes,
right
yes.
now. Yeah, I have the opportunity to perform there, and it was such a beautiful experience. What I would say that you know all the audience, and the best part about the Sammelan was I I consider myself to be no one. In specifically when the co-artists are like Ustad Saeed Parvez, and then we have Venkatesh Kumarji on the same day.
Wow.
And the best part about the audience and entire team was that they treat everyone equally. That is
Yeah.
very, very rare case, you see. And I was given the exact same treatment as Ustad Saeed Parvez, and that was a great thing for me because I was a lot younger then. Uh,
Exactly.
and then you see, and all the audience response was beautiful. I'll never forget that. It was chilly and so much cold in there, but still the audience was so warm. uh, but then, there are some few experiences I would like to share. Another one,
For
like
sure.
once in, this was Epicentre Gurgaon. Okay, there was a program in Epicenter Gurgaon, and everybody who is in classical music knows that Epicenter Gurgaon is a place where there is not much audience footfall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, uh, and as the name said that when I went there to perform, I just saw, I guess, around 10-15 audience were present in the hall. Okay. Similarly, I was much younger than now. Of course, it affects a bit.
But
But then I realized that I have been invited here to perform. So it's my duty to perform here. Of course, I went on to perform. And पता नहीं कैसे हुआ कि प्रोग्राम अच्छा हुआ था।
yeah.
जो बजाया था वो तो अच्छा लगा, मुझे भी अच्छा लगा था, which is rare, trust me. And नेक्स्ट दिन जो हुआ, तो मुझे एक कॉल आया। कॉल आया तो फोन करके मुझे बोला कि मैं मंजरी सिन्हा बोल रहा हूँ। And I knew Manjari Sinha, of course, but I didn't expect a call from her. One of the biggest critics of music in India, and she's calling me. uh, mm, you know, and I was like, okay, yes, tell me, my pranam. Of course, it's a courtesy to offer my pranams. And then you see what she said stunned me, that I was present in the hall yesterday, and I saw how you were unfazed by the lack of audience yesterday, and you performed as if there's no difference between 1,000 audience and a 15 audience hall.
Yeah. That's a
And that
huge
was a big thing
compliment.
for me. And trust me, what even more surprised me, she took a telephonic interview of me on that spot,
Wow.
on spot.
Wow.
And the next day, you wouldn't believe it, in a paper like Hindu, a national daily, which goes nationally,
Yeah, yeah.
I had a half-page interview with a photographer.
Wow. That's amazing. Like, that's truly amazing.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
right? Because
it's like
these are
stars
something
coming
you remember.
the way down.
These are something you always remember because uh, these are memories, total memories created. And of course, then the ICCR, I got an ICCR empanelled international scholarships and all the other things. I even got into like ITC Sangeet Research Academy, and currently I'm a
Yeah,
senior scholar there. Uh, but these all are, till now, for all these years, what I've done, everything has been a great journey for me. And of course, mm, like these memories are irreplaceable. You know,
surely.
these cannot be created anymore. And just to go forward, yeah, having these memories, I need to create more. That's what I want to think.
That's so lovely. That's so lovely. Childhood has a very great impact on us, and when we get mature, because आपने एक बहुत maturity का परिचय दिया है कि audience नहीं होने के बावजूद भी if you are performing the same way, so you are becoming mature as a musician at that same point. है ना? तो जो भी
Absolutely.
लोग अभी हमें सुन रहे हैं, so you need not to be affected. अगर आप सोशल मीडिया इन्फ्लुएंसर हैं तो कितने व्यूज आ रहे हैं, कितने फॉलोअर्स हैं, यू एक्चुअली नीड नॉट टू बी इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय इट, बट आप जो भी कर रहे हैं उसको दिल से करिए, ऑनेस्टली करिए और अपना बेस्ट करिए, बाकी सब भगवान जी के हाथ पे छोड़ दीजिए, उस जो अपने हाथ में
Very
नहीं है उसको लेने की जरूरत भी नहीं है, यू नीड नॉट टू वरी अबाउट इट.
Very true, because if I had not performed my best that day, I wouldn't have got that call the next day and the paper report
Exactly,
the next day.
exactly. Because we don't
Exactly.
know what the Almighty has planned for us. We never know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So आज हम बात करने वाले हैं राग यमन कल्याण. So
Yeah.
I think कि आपने अपने नाम से रेजोनेट करके राग को चुना है, right?
Uh, you know, Yaman Kalyan has a special place for me, of course. Uh, yeah, of course, it's Kalyan Tart. Again, another thing. I don't remember it, but honestly, I'll say that Pandit Ek Anand Sahab. Okay. Uh, he loved me when I was very young. He passed away when I was very young, but he loved me very much. So my father told me once that I was sitting on his lap in his house in ITC Sangeet Research Academy, and he once said that I'll say that exact words that he said in Bengali only. আমি তোর নামটা কোনোদিন ভুলবো না, means that I will never forget your name because you are Kalyan That. So any rap from the Kalyan That is very important to me, of course. Uh, but choice of Yaman Kalyan is based on much more. This is a rag that has been debated. Trust me, it has been debated.
Yes.
Even the existence of the rag has been debated. Uh, it is a confusing rag and a very complicated rag.
Yes.
And that is even more a reason of choosing this rag because, if I can share what I know and what I have learned from my gurus and what I have uh, felt about the rag, I guess the people who will try to follow the rag might be helped. And
For
that is one reason, of course. And the other reasons, I'll say that uh, recently, very recently, I had performed at a program with Pandit Abhijit Banerjee. Abhijit Banerjee, and I had performed this rap there, and uh, Abhijit Kaku was also very impressed that I had performed this rag, such a challenging rag, and moreover, not many instrumentalists tend to uh, perform this rap because of its complexity. So
exactly.
that is a challenge that I have taken up of performing the complicated rags. So that is another thing. And even a third point is that some of my friends wanted me to speak on this rag.
And you will be shocked. There are a lot of people who think that Kalyan, Yaman, and Yaman Kalyan are all same. There are a lot of people. In fact, like few years back, I was one of them because I have never learned Yaman Kalyan. So for me, Yaman and Yaman Kalyan were same. For me, Kalyan and Yaman were different, but Yaman and Yaman Kalyan were same. I have learned this few years back, so yes, I can totally relate with this thing that Yaman Kalyan is so complicated, and the ras, the prem ras it has, it is one of the most beautiful ragas ever.
Very true.
So
Very
I'm
true.
blessed to have you for the discussion of Rag Yaman Kalyan and also resonating with your name. So yeah, we are going to have a blast session.
Hope so.
So let's begin with some basic introduction on Rag Yaman Kalyan. All up to you.
Yeah. So the first thing that I would mention is that uh, the basic difference from Yaman and Yaman Kalyan is the Arhon and the Avaroh. Okay. So normally in Yaman we would go like so I'll just take the sitar. It will be
You
easier
sing so
for me.
well.
Yeah. That's the normal Aroh that we go for Yaman, and Sani Dhapa Magarisa, that is the normal Avroho that we take for Yaman. But for Yaman Kalyan, we don't follow this. Yaman Kalyan has a tinge of Shuddhama in it.
Yeah.
Just a tinge. I mention a tinge because, people tend to overdo it. But I'll show in the next parts that you can show Yaman Kalyan even without the Shuddhama. So, normally for Yaman Kalyan, the Aroha and Avroha should be Sarigama Pada, and Avroha would be Sani Dhapa Magare Gama Gare Gare Sa. So it's Sampurna in Jati, but
Yes.
the Avroha is Vakra.
Hmm.
So it's not straight, unlike Yaman. Because Yaman, we don't have any Shuddhama usage. So we are directly coming from Sa to back to Sa. But here we have to show the Shuddhama. And the only way to show Shuddhama properly is
Yeah.
so only that much of Shuddhama is important. If it's overdone, it's ruining the rag. If it's underdone, it's still ruining the rag. So that the balance is very important, and that is also one of the things that makes Yaman Kalyan a complicated rag.
Yeah, true. Actually, because we need to create a balance of that Shuddha Madhya.
Yes, that is one thing, and definitely, I'll also mention that the Vadi Samvadi remains the same with Yaman. That's Vadi is Ga and Samvadi is Ni.
Yeah.
But the way we approach the rag changes totally. Because the main phrases change. Not by much. That is even the more catch, that it doesn't change drastically. Like Yaman won't become Bihar. Yaman will still remain Yaman. But the Kalyan Ang that is there, that is being added to the Yaman phrase. And how you add that phrase and at what point, that is important.
True.
And before going into that, I would like to mention that normally I just told about the Kalyan Ang, right? Normally we think about the thought system.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the thought system that we have is not very old. Okay. This was created by Bhatkhandeji for his book. I don't know if many people know that. So before that, we have often been told that we have 33 kotis of rag.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this koti is not crore. This koti is division.
Prakar.
There is another meaning in Sanskrit, that's division. And these divisions of rag, there are 33 angs. One of them being Kalyan, there was Malhar Ang, there was Sarang Ang, there was different Angs, you see. Like that's the way these terms came up, that Dadash Malhar, because we had 12 Malhars, we had
Yeah.
18 Kannadas. These things came originally from that set of 33 rags, 33
Yes.
set of rags, you know.
Hmm.
Mm, and only after that, after the creation of thoughts, that these rags were distributed into the 10 equal thoughts. But before that, it was Kalyanang, right? So
Hmm.
I would like to show you a few phrases of the actual Kalyan Ang, which is still present.
Surely.
Okay, so I would like to say one of the main phrases is like, that is one phrase. Okay, this is another phrase. The another phrase is like sagarega. Okay, then parega. These are all part of the actual Kalyan phrases, you know. And this is what creates the difference between Yaman and Yaman Kalyan. You know, while performing Yaman Kalyan, uh, there are many things that you have to keep in mind. That is, one is Yaman, of course. You cannot ignore Yaman. Next, you cannot also ignore the presence of Shuddha Kalyan.
Yeah, true.
Of course, because you know it's absolutely, you know, one is sitting on the right shoulder and one on the left shoulder. That's
Exactly. True, true.
trying to
So,
eat you up. And you are Yaman Kalyan in the center.
yeah.
So, and after that, you see, with Yaman Kalyan and Shuddha Kalyan and Yaman, there are even a few more things to remember. That is the balance that I told you, of course, about
Exactly. Yeah.
the Shuddhama. And you know the proper use of these Kalyan phrases that I told
Mhm.
you. I just mentioned a few minutes back that you can show Yaman Kalyan without the entire use of Shuddhama at all.
Yeah.
Yes, that is another challenge. Okay, so these things keep coming up when you are performing Rag Yaman Kalyan. And also another thing that I must mention, if not, many people will condemn me, honestly, that this rag, Yaman Kalyan, is seen in different ways in different gharanas. Okay,
Yeah.
so I belong to Senia Maihar Gharana, honestly.
Yeah.
So which is an offshoot of the Senia Rampur Gharana.
Yes.
Okay, so in Maihar, we don't see Yaman and Yaman Kalyan as different ragas.
Okay.
But I do, because I don't personally uh, adhere to the boundaries of Gharanas. Because I feel that Gharana is very binding. Uh, why not learn all the good things from the other Gharanas?
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong in it. So, given that, uh, Maihar doesn't differentiate between the two rags. It claims Yaman and Yaman Kalyan to be one rag. Okay, like I'll tell you, in Agra,
Hmm.
Agra Gharana,
Yeah.
previously there was no difference between Yaman and Yaman Kalyan.
Yeah.
But as days came by, like in the modern days, they also differentiate between the two ragas. Okay, so Yaman and Yaman Kalyan is also different to them. Okay, so and Gwalior also does the same thing. They uh, did not have any much difference before that, before a long time, you know. But
Hmm.
modern days, of course, they differentiate between the two rags, of course. And similarly for Jaipur. Okay, so what I will show today is based on a, you know, an aggregate of all these cultures. It might not pertain to a single gharana.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have tried to, what I have tried to do is I have uh, tried to learn from many people. I have listened to many recordings and even consulted to many of my gurus. And then I have come to a point where I can say that I have listened to many people. Now I'll just take the best parts from them and create one for myself.
So this is going to be basically a Bharatiya Gharana. No specific one, but combination of all.
No, basically, I'll say that still, of course, you will find much Agra and Gwalior influence,
Okay. Okay.
because these two gharanas have extensively uh, used these
Yeah,
ragas. Okay,
surely.
so um, of course, I'll then start discussing the differences between the two rags.
Yeah.
Uh, so you see,
Mm-hmm.
normally when we start Rag Yaman, we start with the knee.
Nishad. Yeah.
Okay. See. That is normally how we start Yaman.
Yeah.
But when we are coming to Yaman Kalyan, we are not targeting knee first. Like I told you, even though the Svadi Samvadi remains the same, how you target them changes. And that's what happens here. You are first attacking Sa. Because Kalyan, the most important thing about Kalyan is Sa.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So you will start always like that. And the next difference comes in that the two weak points of Yaman, that is, you don't get much rest on Re and Dha in Yaman, but you do in Yaman Kalyan. That is, again back to Sa. So this is one of the major differences, that your point of attack is changing.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing. Then when you move forward, then normally in Yaman you would be like Nirega. That is the normal way to go.
Mm-hmm.
But in Yaman Kalyan, the way to go forward is in pure Kalyan form, Sagarega. Yes. So that will be another major influence from Kalyan Tat, because Sagarega is Kalyanang.
Yeah.
So, and then another odd phrase, Sani Sarega, which does not occur in Yaman at all.
Yeah.
So this comes, and again, Dhaga. This does not happen in Yaman also. And anything you can come to Ga, like okay, so and again you're returning to Sa.
Yeah.
So that's how you start Yaman Kalyan. And then even while coming to Pa, we give more importance to Tivrama in Yaman. Right. But in Yaman Kalyan, we don't do that.
Yeah.
We give more importance to Pa and Ga and Re. Right. So what we'll do is, normally in Yaman we would do like that's a pure Yaman phrase. Rega ba ma rega ri da ni ni rega. But in Yaman Kalyan we will be like rega straight. And this is a bit more heavy rag. That's how I would mention it. So the number of murkis and will be reduced a bit. So it will be a bit more straight.
Yeah.
So straight from Pare. Parega. So you're directly coming from Pa to Re. Like not in Yaman. Like in Yaman you would come like Pare. That's the Yaman phrase, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not coming like that. You're coming like direct. Parega.
Yeah.
Like these minute differences is what creates the difference.
Yeah.
You know. And then another major difference comes in that so we are directly resting on dha. Ga pa dha. This is a very Kalyanish phrase,
Yeah.
because Yaman doesn't have this phrase,
Yeah.
and this happens not, yeah, it's there in Shuddha Kalyan a bit, but not this much. Like in Shuddha Kalyan, it would be like that would be Shuddha Kalyan, but in
Yeah.
that would be Yaman Kalyan. So these are fine differences between these three rags that create them different.
Yeah.
So, this is what makes it complicated to perform. Because at the end, it's like all these fine differences make a rag.
100%.
Like if it was just the notes, then there wouldn't be many rags like this, because Yaman and Shuddha Kalyan both have the same notes, but they are different rags.
Exactly.
Same case for Yaman Kalyan, that it's a different rag, and we have to maintain that.
Exactly.
So, and when we are going to south, so the Tar Saptak, we'll go like as we go in Shuddha Kalyan, like Ma Pa Ni Ra Sa, straight. But then we are giving a bit more knee, which is not there in Shuddha Kalyan much. So that's how we go into the Tar Saptak. And again, then we can go, Mapa Dhanisa straight, like which is not done much in Yemen, but it can be done. It's a common phrase, but it is not done majorly in Yemen. And then the tinge of the Shuddhama. See, so this is the fine differences that create the rag. And that Shuddhama is, okay, I guess your net connection just blinked for a while, I guess.
Maybe.
Oh, no, that's, yeah. So that's, that only that bit of Shuddhama. Maybe, in a span of 10-minute alap, you just give 5-6 times Shuddhama. Like people will need to want it. That's that's when you give it to them. It's like, finding water, like oasis in a desert.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. Like after, when you get it, you'll understand the feeling of it. So that's Yaman Kalyan, basically. Yeah.
So will you tell a little more about the difference between Shuddha Kalyan and Yaman Kalyan? Like, what are the major phrases that bring the difference between Shuddha Kalyan and Yaman Kalyan? Not in Yaman Kalyan, but in Shuddha Kalyan and Yaman Kalyan.
Shuddha Kalyan and Yaman Kalyan. You see that in Shuddha Kalyan, the presence of ni is the most important. And also Tivrama a bit, okay, because in Tivrama and Shuddha Ni is very weak in Shuddha Kalyan, right?
Yeah.
So in Yaman Kalyan, it's a bit more strong. Okay, so I can go like this. This is Shuddha Kalyan. Okay, but this is Yaman Kalyan. That small tinge of ni. That is me. That is what makes the difference. Okay, then this is Shuddha Kalyan, but that is Yaman Kalyan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pure Kalyan.
Then you see, that is Shuddha Kalyan.
Shuddha Kalyan.
But that's Yaman Kalyan.
Yaman Kalyan. Yeah.
Yes. That is what creates the difference. Then you see, coming from Pa to Re, this is another main place. In Shuddha Kalyan, it will be like. That is Shuddha Kalyan, and in Yaman Kalyan, it will be like. So that will be the differences, and of course, there are minute differences here and there, like, and I'm not talking about the Shuddha Ma. That is completely a different topic. It's not even there in Shuddha Kalyan.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes, but I'll tell you another thing, that in a very rare phrase and a rare occurrence, one can do this in Yaman Kalyan, which you cannot do in Shuddha Kalyan at all. Like in Shuddha Kalyan, the only me you can have is if you do like this. Like, that is the only place where you can rest in me. There's no other place. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you take Tivrama, you cannot even rest on Tivrama and Shuddha Kalyan. But when you're talking about Yaman Kalyan, you can do this, that. This is a phrase I exactly copied from Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahib. This is one phrase that he used to perform very dearly. Okay, so this exact phrase, Rega ma gredani, this shift, like how he stood on Ma, but then immediately he is going away from it at the same time. This you cannot do in Shuddha Kalyan.
Yeah.
Of course, these are minute differences that will remain between the two rags, which makes them different. Exactly. And of course, one is a bit more like, I'll say the best thing to say about Yaman Kalyan and Shuddha Kalyan is that Yaman Kalyan is more of Yaman and less of Kalyan, and Shuddha Kalyan is more of Kalyan and less of Yaman. Yeah. That is the best way to describe it.
Well said. Statement ने काफी सारी चीजें इनफैक्ट क्लियर कर दी हैं. You said between that Yaman Kalyan is standing in the center and all this Yaman and Shuddha Kalyan. Exactly. I could genuinely feel the difference right now. Thank you so much. This was like brilliant.
Thank you so much.
अच्छा, इसके साथ साथ मूविंग फर्दर, जैसे आपने बताया अभी तो हमें डिफरेंस इसके सांप्रकृतिक रागों में किस तरह से डिफरेंस हम लोगों ने देखा. अभी जो इसके आरोह और अवरोह हैं, जो गंधार और निषाद है, उसको हम किस तरह से दिखाएंगे जब हम इसको प्रस्तुत करेंगे या हम प्रैक्टिस करेंगे या जब भी हम इसको गाएंगे. तो गंधार और निषाद का जो इम्पोर्टेंस है, जो वार्तालाप है, वो हम किस तरह से इसमें और खूबसूरती से दिखा सकते हैं.
Okay, I'll just give some phrases. You see, I'll just start the Tanpura.
Sure.
Is the Tanpura audible? I don't think so.
Properly. I think you need to increase the volume a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Is the Sitar audible?
Yeah.
So I'll just go a bit near that so that it's more clear.
Yeah.
So first you see the treatment of Ga. Okay.
Okay.
I'll first show how you can treat Ga in Alap Vistars, and then how you can use in Tans. Okay. So first the Vistas. Okay. These are all phrases that are coming to Ga, you see.
Yeah.
And a bit more Yaman Kalyanish phrases would be like, see, here is Yaman coming in.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
this is how Yaman comes and goes. It is there, it's always there. But it's never there concretely. That
Yeah.
is why it's different from Yaman.
It's coming and going, just
Yeah.
saying hi and
Most
saying
people,
bye.
most people deny the existence of Yaman, saying that Yaman is already there in Yaman Kalyan. So why should it exist as a separate trust? That is what people claim. But,
Yeah.
uh, apparently, if you go deep into it, you can see that they are very different tracks.
Yeah.
Very, very different tracks. Then you're going to Pa. Your
Yeah. Lovely.
Then, this the big dha comes in. The big dha comes in first. This is
Yeah.
another difference from Yaman and Yaman Kalyan, that the dha comes in.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That will be how you will treat the guy and me.
Yeah.
Because like me that is the only way of coming from me to ga.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like unlike in Yemen where you can just come directly from you cannot come that in Yemen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Okay. But in Tan, it would be a bit different, because in Tan, in classical music, we take a lot of liberties. But still talking about Yaman Kalyan, you see, these are the main Tans that will come. the dance patterns are very different from what we have in Yaman. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
That
so that
Madhyam was like cherry on the cake. Beautiful.
that is what happens after a long time of no Shuddhama. When the Shuddhama comes in, that's when you cherish it. But a lot of people, like always do like ga ma ga, but that ruins the fun that is there in the Shuddhama. That is why you should not always give it to the people that people want it. So this is the tan pattern basically, and when you will go from sa, you will. We normally don't go to ni as a tan stoppage, but we when we go to sa, we always take the help of ni. So you see, all the tans are coming to sa, but there's an intricate usage of ga and ni in between. That usage, and you will always find that you won't find much of ma in it. Not even tibrama. Not even tibrama.
Yeah.
Because it's following the Kalyan pattern. Like that's the way you find ma once. Like this is the way that we are creating a difference between the two rags deliberately so that they don't mix up. Okay. So that's how you use the ga and ni.
Yeah. Amazing. Wow. That was awesome. Like seriously, बहुत सारी चीजें मुझे भी नहीं पता थी इसमें जो seriously मुझे भी कुछ पैटर्न्स अलग से पता चले. So amazing.
Yeah.
So आज राग यमन कल्याण में आप कौन सी बंदिश हमारे साथ हमें सुनाना चाहेंगे?
Normally in instrumental music we have guts, not bandish.
Yeah. Sorry, guts.
But
Sorry.
no. I will perform a few even bandishes,
Okay.
which I have learned, and also some guts. I'll show all the guts first, and then I'll just take a teen tal pattern. Just a moment.
That seriously, like slip of tongue, ekdam, because like we are so happy to not speaking.
No. That happens. That happens.
Yeah. So आप साथ में ना ये भी बताइएगा कि जो आप गन बजा रहे हैं या जो आप बंदिश बजा रहे हैं वो आपने किन से सीखी या वो किन की बनाई हुई है, किन की रचित है, तो उससे हमें भी उन गुरुजी के बारे में जानने में और सुविधा होगी, हम उनको भी और सुन पाएंगे.
Normally, see, the ones I know who created it, I can tell you, but the other ones I honestly cannot. But I'll tell you whom I learned it from, of course.
Surely.
The tabla is audible? actually. It's neither a Govt, neither a Bandish. So it's a Tarana, and I learned it from my Guru, Pandit Parso Chatterjee, and also Pandit Ullas Vasalkarji. Okay, so this is, I'm not sure, but most probably a Gwalior Tarana. It is. One Tarana again. Now I'll just play the main style of one very famous bandish. Ab Guna na kijiye Guni sir. This is an Agra bandish. I guess you know it, but
Yeah, I do. Surely.
This bandish is very normally you won't feel it as Yaman Kalyan bandish when you hear it first, but it is. And another bandish I just remembered, Langar Turok Jira Shurok. This is another great bandish from Agra, which I learned from these two bandishes I have learned from Vidushi Shubhra Gohaji. Shubhra ji is one of our gurus at the ITC Sangeet Research Academy. So I learned it from her. Bandesh also from Agra. These are bandishes, and also I would like to present one Gat, a proper Sitar Gat, which was created by Pandit Nikhil Banerjee.
Okay.
He performed this multiple times. I'll just mention one speciality of this Gat, that this Gat has no sum.
Oh.
कोई सम ही नहीं है इसका. The first matra is blank.
Oh, great.
There's no sum in it. So that is also fun, all the tans coming just before the sum and ending there. So it is a bit fun. This bandish is more of a fun. So this is
I
a
love
gun,
it.
not a bandish,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that is what it is. And also, in Vilambit, not we normally don't play in sitar. We in Vilambit we maximum play teen tal, Vilambit teen tal, or in extreme rare cases we play maximum Vilambit rupak or Vilambit sharp tal. We don't go for any other tals. Not like normally we don't play ek tal or other tals same way to Vilambit. So many bandishes have been adopted into sitar formats. I would like to play one of them. It is one bandish I learned from also Ullasji and my guru Partha Chatterjee. I'll just play that bandish.
Sure.
Yeah.
आपकी सितार की आवाज बहुत कम आ रही है अभी। आपकी सितार की आवाज कम आ रही है।
Now it's okay.
हाँ, let's try. Yeah.
So this is you see a not normal bandish for a sitar, but still it has been adopted into a sitar format,
हाँ.
keeping as much as the original bandish as possible. Like normally the this is the typical vocal style
Yeah.
which we have adopted into the playing of sitar. This is not the Tantrakari Vaj that we talk about. This is the typical Gayaki Ank. This is the Gayaki Ank that people talk about. So,
Yeah.
it is difficult to do that, but once you overcome the basic limitations of a sitar, then anything is possible. That is what your target is as a sitarist.
Sure.
That
Yeah.
taking your sitar as an instrument and going beyond its limitations. That is what you should do. So, like this one, taking such a long mead here is very difficult. Especially, it's all rounded meads, and you cannot go as a tal. You have to go in a mead format. That is very difficult. But that is the fun of it. That is the fun of it that you do it. Yes.
And that's the joy. कोई भी काम करने में we should see the targets. So this bandish is
Yes.
also a target for the students who are learning.
Absolutely.
Great. तो और कोई बंदिश होगी जो लाइक आप प्रॉपरली सुनाना चाहेंगे या शेयर करना चाहेंगे?
Okay, so a bit. I'll just play a bit more of.
या आपकी कोई बनाई हुई बंदिश हो जो आपने खुद कंपोज करी हो?
No, I would refrain from that at the moment. Because anyhow, this is a very complicated drug. Not going into any more of those troubles. This is my favorite. The Tarana I showed you at first. That's my favorite bandish out of all these.
Sure. Okay. You would have, every time you were bringing the Shuddha Madhyam, and it was feeling like my heart was filling with joy. Seriously.
That is what it is supposed to do.
Yeah.
If that
The
doesn't
placement
happen,
of
then
the Shuddha
something is
Madhyam
big
was
wrong.
so blissful.
That is the contrast coming to the rag.
Yeah.
And that contrast creates beauty.
True. अच्छा, ऐसे पुराने कोई गाने होंगे या कोई ऐसे लाइट म्यूजिक के कॉम्पोजिशंस जो प्योरली यमन कल्याण पर आधारित हो, नॉट ऑन
Yes, there are actually quite a lot, Very honestly, there are quite a lot of these. I can recollect some of these, if I'm not wrong. Ehsan Tera.
Yeah.
This is a song by Mohammed Rafi, and also there's a version by Lata Mangeshkar ji. This is most probably from the film Jungli, I guess, 1961. Yes. I am not remembering the music director was probably Shankar Jaikishan. I am not sure about that, but it's probably Shankar Jaikishan.
Should I check?
Sure. Probably Shankar Jaikishan.
Yeah, Shankar Jaikishan ji.
Yes, Shankar Jaikishan ji. So, yeah, it's a beautiful, like how it starts, like. Even the next parts.
that madhyam.
You know, even more songs like Abhi Na Jao Chhodkar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is also another song. It's not totally based on Yaman Kalyan, but the first line is based on Yaman Kalyan. And I guess, again, it's sung by Mohammed Rafi. Yeah, it's Mohammed Rafi. And this
आज
was
जाने
probably
की जिद ना
Jai
करो is
Dev.
also.
Huh?
आज जाने की जिद ना करो is also.
Aaj Jaane Ki Zid Na Karo is, you know, it's not more than a Bollywood, it's more of a ghazal.
Yeah.
I would prefer to say it's more of a ghazal. If you are talking about ghazal, yes, Aaj Jaane Ki Zid Na Karo, of course, one of
Yeah.
my favorites.
Soulful. It's such a soulful ghazal.
And even, you know, even there are more ghazals on this. Like, I remember Ranjit Shi Sahi.
Yeah.
I have heard it in like, you know, Mehdi Hassan's voice. And
Yeah.
that's so beautiful. You know, that's how he came to Shuddha Mahadev. That is what creates the beauty there. You know, and even, yeah, tell me.
Please continue. आप कहिए.
No, you say.
एक गाना मुझे और याद आए हूँ मेरी जिंदगी में तुम बहार बनके.
I don't know the song, but I really should be.
It's from Raja Hindustani movie. Karishma Kapoor and Amir Khan are there in this movie.
Wow.
I was watching today in the movie. शाम को ही मैं देख रही थी सेशन से पहले 5 बजे अराउंड. So this movie and this song was coming. You know, ये यमन कल्याण चल रहा है.
You know, even if you're talking about recent movies, even a recent movie I'll see about is Bajirao Mastani.
Yeah.
The song by Javed Bashir. It's Aaj Ibadat. That's pure Yaman Kalyan. That's pure Yaman Kalyan. Like, and you know, especially the sitar parts of it. I guess it was played by Niladri Kumar.
Yes.
It was so beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
And the sitar part was there. I even remember the music of it. I loved it so much.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So these Yaman has been used ever since. Yaman Kalyan has been used, like even in the golden times of 1950s and 60s, and even it's
Yeah,
being used now. Like
yeah.
not Yaman Kalyan, but Yaman was used even in recent movie. Like every Sanjay Leela Bhansali movie, I guess, has one
Yeah.
rag in
It is
it.
full of
Like
Yaman and
even
Yaman Kalyan.
Padmavat had one, Moon Dil Ek Jaan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what a beautiful song it was. Like, "Ek Dil Hai." That was a beautiful
Yeah,
song.
yeah, yeah.
It was not Yaman Kalyan, to be honest, but it was Yaman.
Yeah.
Uh, but you know what, Yaman, there are thousands more songs.
Yeah, so many compositions, like mixed. There are so many mixed compositions as well, like Yaman and
Yes,
Yaman Kalyan, like mixed. So there are a
yeah, there are
lot
many
of
examples.
compositions. Yeah.
Yes,
In fact,
and
this
you
song by Shankar
don't
Mahadevan.
expect a full rag composition in a Bollywood song, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
uh, but at least the basic outline of the rag should be there.
Yeah,
Uh, that's for counting as a rag based song,
true.
and so these songs all have that as a
Yeah,
basic
and
outline.
also I can remember of that Breathless song by Shankar
Ah,
Mahadevan.
yes, right.
Yeah,
Yes, right. And that was a mixture of many ragas, but Yaman was the main of them
yeah,
because
yeah,
it
yeah.
was holding the entire base.
Yeah, true.
Yes, right. Absolutely. And it was so beautiful. Yeah, there are many songs in Bollywood which are using Yaman and Yaman Kalyan till now. And there are many even like talking as I'm a Bengali. So there are many Ravindra Sangeets too
I
in
have
Yaman
no
Kalyan.
clue about Ravindra Sangeet. I literally want to
Oh,
learn
you
it.
must get some, of
I
course.
don't
That's so
have any
beautiful
idea
to
of
know.
it. Seriously.
Please get to know some. They are beautiful songs, trust me.
For sure. Please share some of them with me. Please.
Of course I will. Of course I will.
And I'm so glad to have you in this session. Are there any facts related with Rag Yaman Kalyan, like theoretical facts you know about, or if you want to share with the audience?
Theoretical facts, uh, I take more of the practical aspect of it. But theoretically, if you say, I would just mention one thing. Yes, um, as you correctly mentioned, it's a prem ras.
Yeah.
That's correct. Uh, but the prakriti of the rag will be gambhir,
Yes.
not shant. It
Yeah.
will be gambhir because Yaman is shant, but Yaman Kalyan is a bit more towards the Dhrupad segment. So it's
Yes.
gambhir. Uh, and the time of presentation will be uh, Ratri Pratham Prahar. So that
Yeah.
will be 6 to
6 p.m.
9.
to 9 p.m.
Yes, but technically this should be, as it's Yaman Kalyan, it will be just after Yaman. So around 7:38 is a good time for
Yeah.
performance of this rag.
And we have
Yeah.
like completed the session in the same time only. Before
Oh,
7.
that's correct. Yeah.
Because before 7 we were discussing about the theoretical part and the chalan and everything else, but the performance time was post 7 only. So
That's
it got
great.
सफल. तो ये सफल हो गया आज का.
That's
Seriously,
great of you to notice. I didn't notice it.
seriously, moving towards the end, I'm so thankful to you that आप आए. आपने अपना इतना कीमती समय निकाला. संडे है because Sunday has a lot of stuff to do. और उसमें भी आपने समय निकाला, आपने ज्वाइन करा, इतने अच्छे से
Really, it's
आपने
great.
अपने सारे व्यूज, सारी चीजें हमारे साथ शेयर करी. So I'm very very thankful. Thank you so much from the core
No,
of my heart.
it was actually great. Having a musical discussion is always great, and especially I was just having even a talk with a few other people who have had a session with you, like Meher and Mopali, all these people. and everyone was very saying the same thing, that you are so multifaceted. You are a multifaceted talent, like doing so many things and still, maintaining the music. And the yoga is, of course, fantastic. And also, you're doing this for the promotion of music, and that is something great. And I really acknowledge the way you are representing music to the music followers right now, because in a different way, a normal, not normal way, the not normal way of just going there and performing. Instead, having a discussion, having a normal discussion, not like a formal interview type of discussion. It's
Yeah.
for informal discussion of just chatting on a rag. This is something different, and that's what I liked about the session the best.
Thank you so it's a huge compliment for me. Thank you so much because आप लोगों से मोटिवेशन मिलता है, आप लोगों की सपोर्ट मिलती है, तभी ये सेशंस आगे बढ़ पा रहे हैं। आप लोगों का सपोर्ट नहीं होगा तो अकेले मैं भी कितना कर सकती हूँ। आप लोगों का, इतने सारे लोगों का इसमें सपोर्ट है, इतना सारा समय, इतना सारा श्रम है। सिर्फ एक दिन का लगता है कि ये 1 घंटे का सेशन हुआ या 1.5 घंटे का सेशन हुआ, बट इससे पहले आप लोगों की जो साधना रही है किसी एक राग के ऊपर, वो पूरा का पूरा एक तरह से समय आपने हमारे साथ शेयर किया है। पूरी जिंदगी में जो आपने सीखा है, जो समझा है, जो जाना है, जो गुरुओं से सीखा है, वो आपने अपनी ऑडियंस के साथ शेयर किया है। तो आप लोगों को प्रणाम है मेरा। थैंक यू सो सो मच फॉर
Thank you so much for a beautiful session, and hope to
सी।
meet again soon.
For sure, we'll do a separate session. एक और सेशन करेंगे whenever you are comfortable in the upcoming
Of
sessions.
course,
Thank you so much, sir. It
of
was
course,
so
definitely.
nice to have you today.
Thank you so much.
और जितनी भी ऑडियंस में ने हमें देखा, उनको भी मेरा तहे दिल से शुक्रिया। आप लोग देखिए, आप लोग सीखिए, हमारी भारतीय संस्कृति को बचाइए और इस पर गर्व करिए। इस पर शर्माने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, ठीक है? ये हमारी संस्कृति है, हमारी सभ्यता है। इसको आप लोगों को ही और हम लोगों को सबको मिलके आगे लेके जाना है। सो बी प्राउड ऑफ इट। संगीत सीखते रहिए, संगीत करते रहिए, संगीतमय रहिए। मैं आपसे मिलती हूँ अगले हफ्ते। तब तक अपना ध्यान रखिए। नमस्कार। थैंक यू कल्याण जी। विल सी यू इन अनदर सेशन। थैंक यू सो मच। प्रणाम।